Writing a fraction as a percentage, grade G. So we're going to turn a fraction like this, 925, into a percentage. The first thing we need to do is somehow make this bottom number, the denominator, into 100. It will make things a lot easier. So we want the bottom number to become 100. So what have we done to 25 to turn it into 100? Well, we times it by 4. So we need to do the same to the top number. We do the same to the 9. 9 times 4 is 36. So 36 over 100 is the equivalent fraction to 9 over 25, because we times the bottom by 4, we times the top by 4 as well. So now we have 36 divided by 100. So how do you do 36 divided by 100? Well, 36 over 100 is 0.36. How do you do that? Well, 36 looks like this. And if we're dividing by 100, it's going to move 2 places to the right. So 1, 2. 36 divided by 100 is 0.36. Then how to turn 0.36 into a percentage? Well, we just have to do that times by 100. How to times that by 100? We'll just move it 2 places to the left. And as you probably notice, I've just repeated myself. I've undone the process that I didn't do, because if the bottom number is 100, whatever number is up there is your percentage. So if the denominator is 100, the numerator will become the percentage. So 0.36 times by 100 is 36%. So can you see the answer is 36%, and that's that number there. Let's do one more to make that a bit more clearer. So we've got 17 out of 20, and we're going to write that as a percentage. So first of all, we have to turn the bottom number, the denominator, to 100. We need to turn 20 into 100. How do you do that? We times it by 5. So we have to do the same to the top. Times it by 5. So 17 times 5 is 85. So we now have 85 over 100. As I've said before, that is the percent. Because the denominator is 100, it's 85 there, and that is your percentage. So the answer is 85%. Okay, same. Let's do 16 over 10 into a percentage. So again, like before, we want the bottom number to be 100. So what have we done to 10 to make it into 100? We've times it by 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. So we have to do the same to the 6. So 6 times 10 is 60. So because the denominator is 100 and the numerator is 60, the answer is 60%. 60%. 13 over 40. Now this is a little bit more tricky, because we still want the bottom number ideally to be 100, but we can't. I don't know how to do times 40 by what to make it to 100. So I just times it by 10 to get into 400. Okay, that's the easiest 100 I could get it into. But times it by 10, times it by 10, I made it 400. So I have to do the same to the top. I have to do 13 times 10, and I get the answer is 130. So these are equivalent fractions. But I know a slight trick here. I know that if I half the 400 and half it again, it will become 100. So if I half it, if I half the bottom, it becomes 200, and if I half the top, it's 65. Half of 400 is 200, and half of 130 is 65. By the way, this is the non-calculator method. It's much easier with calculator, but this is the non-calculator method. So to go from here to here, all I've done is I've divided that by 2, and I've divided to get 200, and I've divided that by 2 to get that. So 65 over 200. And if I half them again, I get it over 100. So as you can see, 200 divided by 2 is 100, and 65 divided by 2 is 32.5. So the answer is 32.5%. If you don't understand that, rewind it a little bit and you will see. So because I couldn't go straight from 40 to 100, I turned into the nearest 100 I could, the easiest 100 I could, which was 400. But then I knew if I half 400 and half it again, it would become 100. And that's what I did. Another example, 5 over 8. Again, very tricky to turn that exactly into 100, because I don't know what number times it by to get it into 100. So what I do, I turn it into the nearest 10 that I could think of, which is 40. 8 times 5 is equal to 40. So I have to do the same as the top. 5 times 5 is 25. So 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 5 is 25. So now I've got the answer as 25 over 40. And like before, then I can turn that into 400, but times that by 10 and times the top by 10. So I'll get 250 over 400. 40 times 10 is 400. 250 times 10 is 250. And if I half them again, I get half of 250 is 125, and half of 400 is 200. And if I half it again, I get half 125 is 62.5, and half of 200 is 100. So I've got the answer as 62.5 over 100. Because the denominator is 100, the numerator is the percentage. So the answer is 62.5%.